Hello, everyone. Well, how do we manage our toxic emotions with mind medicine? Exploring this fascinating topic, we have internationally renowned holistic physician, best selling author, Dr. Wiseman, with us in our studio today. Welcome, Dr. Wiseman.
Oh, what a pleasure. Thank you so much, Amita.
Sure, sure. Pleasure is ours. So you've done incredible work, and then the most notable is your lifeline technique. So explain us what that is.
The Lifeline technique helps us to reprogram the limiting beliefs that are in our subconscious mind that affect directly our biology, how our cells function, how they regenerate, how they're capable of being resilient or not. And it influences even further, it influences our perception. So, how we're capable even of seeing ourselves or the world around us in any given moment has to do with the subconscious mind. And the Lifeline technique helps us to bypass conscious perception. It's not therapy, but it's therapeutic. That enables us to unzip the fabric of consciousness and through some sequence of steps, raise the vibration of memories that have been stuck in Groundhog Day, in these maladaptive stress reactions that influences us. And when we can get on into this subconscious world that ultimately orchestrates ourselves, that influences our human peak potential. That's where the greatness. That's where really being a human being emerges from.
Yes, yes. And I find this fascinating. So it's like, let's say if I get a toxic emotion or something that had bothered me as a child and that comes triggers back like as an adult. So it's literally training my mind to take that emotion out of my head and bring it out, right? That in a very simple layman's language, that's what I'm understanding.
Yeah, it is on one level. It's taking it out on another level. It's digesting it. It's literally digesting the emotion so it is sent in motion. What's interesting is, what is going on in our subconscious mind, we don't know. Otherwise, it wouldn't be called the subconscious mind. So the subconscious mind truly is asymptomatic. The way that we get to it is indirectly through the patterns that we can see in a person's health, in their behaviors, in their unique attractor field. Similar to this, just like the wind is invisible, the subconscious mind is invisible. If I want to understand the wind, I'll look at the waves in the water. I'll look at the sand and how the formations. I'll look at the trees and how the leaves blow. If I want to understand someone's subconscious mind, I just observe them. I observe my body. I tune in and I notice that when I eat this food, I react. When I'm around this person, I react. Certain things trigger me. Everyone has triggers. And those triggers, whatever who it is, wherever it is, whatever it takes, and now I'm in the reactive place. That is what in the Lifeline technique we call a portal, not a problem. So we live in a world that goes, fix the problem, fight the problem. You're a failure because of the problem, whatever it might be. There's no failure. There's nothing to fix with the Lifeline. Everything is a feedback. So we're not looking to get rid of emotions. We're looking to get into the deeper neural networks of our system and process the emotions that are evoked from memories that have not been fully processed. Memories that have not been fully processed still hold, in a Pavlovian type of way, the emotional charge of the environment that they reflect. So through kinesiology, muscle reflex testing, where we use the autonomic nervous system as a feedback loop, I never have to guess. A certified Lifeline practitioner that's educated in the system, they use this flow chart back here. It's a 16-step process that ultimately is a blueprint or a roadmap of the subconscious mind. That's called the Lifeline Technique flow chart. It enables us to zero in to these specific memories and patterns and process these emotions and transform the perceived limitation that's showing up. And then as a result, for example, a child with anaphylactic allergies to nuts, or someone that has, you name it. It's not about the disease, and it's not about, the emotional behavior. All of that is a feedback. It's just about creating a relationship with this subconscious part of ourself that's loving, accepting, curious, compassionate, that evokes a spiritual awakening within it.
Yeah. So tell us about the research. Is there any research behind this kind of a technique?
Yeah, there's tons of it. The nature of emotion is understand from the late Dr. Candace Pert, who was a dear friend of mine, and she was a champion of the Lifeline technique. And she discovered the neuropeptide. She discovered that there's molecules of emotion. So when we're happy, we have got chemicals. When we're sad, we have chemicals. When we're feeling anxious, we have chemicals. When we're feeling confident, we have chemicals. So every emotion creates a neuropeptide, this protein-based chemical that binds to receptor sites in our body. It's the nature of epigenetics. The receptor sites that it binds to influences how our cells form, how our cells feel, and how our cells form new cells. So, what is understood through HeartMath Institute as far as how our heart is in a state of coherence, or it's hijacked by the reactive mind, influencing, brain incoherence. There's a ton of research on it that ultimately helps people to understand the nature of more of this holistic, I'd call it a quantum system, quantum type of way of influencing the body's innate intelligence for healing.
I think it's fascinating. So what are we talking about from overcoming point of view, like anxiety, stress? What are the things that we can overcome using this technique?
It's pretty wild. I've done well over 100,000 sessions. So you could imagine I've had quite a few experiences. You want to go extreme. I've worked with people that have endured genocide and have endured, fires where people are, burned alive and they survive this. So massive PTSD and having people move through this and transform these immense, shocking patterns from an emotional, behavioral, but also biological construct. People, as I talked about, whether it be the immune system and diabetes and cancer, it's not about the disease, which is interesting. It's not about the symptom. It's not even the chronicity that matters. What matters is that there's these unique steps where we start to realize, oh, my body's talking to me. Here's a woman who can't get pregnant. And all of a sudden we discover that there's a core limiting belief in her subconscious mind stemming from 4 years of age that causes her to subconsciously believe that if she gets pregnant, she's going to die. She doesn't realize that she wants to have a baby. You transform that core limiting belief. All of a sudden, what happens is 1 month later, she's pregnant. So, there's so many unique factors to this. What I like to call myself, or people that are certified in the Lifeline technique, because we not only work with people one-on-one or couples or groups, but we teach people how to do this for themselves or other professionals. This is an incredible tool or strategy to bring other tools into a focus that gets to the heart of the matter, and that is any way we can activate the subconscious mind to be working in the present moment versus a past memory, we open up so much, so much. What's the potential? Here's a guy with stage 4 prostate cancer, and you know, and now I don't know. That's like 6 years ago, and the guy's thriving. And he discovered he wasn't happy and doing what he was doing. He was a very successful man, but wasn't living true and authentic and honest with himself. And you know, he bridged Western medicine and holistic medicine. There's no one way for everyone. To me, this is a brave new world where we're discovering the leading edge of science and also the essence of who we have always been, spiritual beings, but utilizing the mind as a tool for transformation and design and manifestation versus, you know, most people have no concept of really what their mind is. We're aware of meditation and affirmations and mirror work and journaling and gratitude, but the mind is this incredible information field that when understood and you've got actually a process, you can activate a journey that enables people to detoxify the mind. We detoxify the body. I'll drink a green drink. I'll do this parasite cleanse. I'll clean out my liver. Now, the first thing that you got to do when you're really creating deep change is you got to detoxify the mind. Most people have toxic mind syndrome. And when you're in a toxic mind syndrome, you're driven by fear. You're driven by the negative thoughts. And when we can start to understand that these negative thoughts have a real purpose to them, then the mind, as you go through Lifeline sessions, will begin to regenerate. You'll start noticing you're having more naturally calm, relaxed, joyful, self-loving, self-compassionate, forgiving thoughts and beliefs. And then as you stay with this and create a practice, you know, versus like a perfect, like we don't get anywhere and like live happily ever after. This is the journey of life. It's planet Earth, you know, but we can find this peak human potential where we recognize, like in this moment, Amita, like, thank you so much. We recognize the oneness. We recognize the gifts. We recognize the purpose and meaning of life. We enter what's called the thriving mind. And in that's a whole other level of human potential that exists.
And I think we need that. That thriving mind is what you're talking about, is all of us need. The world needs that, right?
Yeah.
With what's going on. So I'm very curious as to, let's say someone goes through the Lifeline technique, which is quite comprehensive, like you said, 16 modules. Then is there some kind of a metric that you measure, in the sense heart rate variability, pre versus post, or some, how do you measure that someone has now been able to take control over their mind and get rid of the toxic emotions?
Yeah. You know, the nature of the system itself, in the second step of the Lifeline, the first step is you get present. It's called the connection. It's a type of acupuncture without needles, where you're able to influence certain energetic components of the body, mind, spirit with the earth and the universe. It's beautiful. But once you're present in the moment, like once you've tuned the instrument, the second step of the Lifeline is about being intentional. And there's 4 specific components about being intentional. And the first part is about conscious observation, where we go in and we observe the body and we rate the symptoms. So it's subjective as far as like really tuning in right now, like, oh, you know, my stomach hurts at a 6. My neck is tight at a 4. I have been diagnosed with Hashimoto's and, you know, and I'm really fatigued at an 8, or whatever it might be. We have people rate their symptoms, and we also have people observe their life and look for who's the trigger, what's the trigger, where am I in a place of stress? And we have them bring up their emotions and rate them, so that we're very aware of the starting point of what's going on. We have people obviously fill out client intake forms, and so we know what's going on. But at the end of the session, there's a process where we go back and you observe your body. And it just, it's just open-ended. You know,
Mhm.
what do you notice?
Mhm.
And it's like, and this is 99.9%. I feel lighter yet grounded. It's so paradoxical. Like 99 point, I feel lighter but grounded.
Mhm.
And then when people go back to the trigger, the trauma, the loss, the grief, the anger, the rage, the sadness, the frustration, the stuckness, they're
Mhm.
like, I can't connect to it.
Mhm.
It's not me. And then I love asking people this question. So now, as you think about this person or this situation that was causing a 9 out of 10 fear, you know, this causing a 9 out of 10, you know, anger and overwhelm and insecurity. What emotion do you feel right now as you think about that person or circumstance? And people go, I feel acceptance, I feel compassion, I feel peace. So, you know, we have done like blood studies where we'll do like a dark field microscopy, and that shows, you know, instantaneous transformation within it. But as far as like it, and that was like when we're teaching trainings and stuff like that. But when we're in the session, people are absolutely in tune with where they're at to begin and where they are at the end. But I want to actually say something that's very important here.
Mhm.
We live in a pop-up pill culture.
Mhm.
In the pop-up pill culture, it's make it go away. And I want to be clear, this is not about making it go away. And what ends up happening is, like, after I finish a first session with somebody, you know, at this point, I know how I'm going to guide them. I'm very in tune with that. So, you know, I often will then bring people through a series of sessions so that we can truly detoxify the mind,
Mhm.
and create a sustainable change rather than just the short-term change of I take a pill and the symptom goes away. I can help people have symptoms go away, but that's not what this is really best used for. This is about true liberation and emerging from a deeper place within.
I think it's fascinating work that you're doing. Thank you so much for being with us. This is just our 10 minute of wellness every single session, every
Cool.
single day, every day. Anything else you'd like to wrap up with? Please go ahead. Otherwise, we are ready to wrap up the session. And thank you again.
Oh, thank you so much. I'm so grateful.
Yes. So what we've been talking about is how to detoxify your mind, how to detoxify all the toxic emotions and connect with your subconscious mind is what we've been talking about with Dr. Wiseman, who is an internationally renowned holistic physician. So let us know your feedback, comments, and any comments. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you so much.